back. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so now I can see what I look like. Yikes. All right. And here comes my computer. All right, so I can see me. Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? Let's see. Finley says 5x5. All right, we have at least one of you guys. And Schulte Family Homestead, Robert Bates, good deal. All right, so we're there. No fuzziness or anything. At least I'm looking at my computer. It doesn't look like it's pixelated or anything. I remember to put the microphone up this time, so I'm not doing my best Joe Biden impersonation and going senile here yet. So, all right. So, like I said in the description there, it finally caught up to me. Y'all know this feeling. You work and 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 work, and finally you get exhausted. And so after I posted the afternoon video, it's your lunchtime video, I laid down on the couch, took a nap. And I woke up, it was 6:30. I was like, okay, I just slept for 6 hours. So that was one of those, okay, there goes my Saturday. But, again, that's the thing that's important that you guys got to remember, and I got to remember too sometimes, is you got to take care of yourself. You can't work yourself to the bone because you'll work yourself getting sick. And so it was a good thing I got some rest today. But, so then I picked up the computer and went through all the comments, or 5 hours worth of the comments, or 900 and some odd comments on the lunchtime video today. And 99% of them were good. And of course, we had some of the idiots in there. I love the guy. There was one guy in there who said, oh, prepping is a waste of time. Don't bother with it. He goes, I love listening to this guy. He talks a big game, but probably couldn't fight himself out of a wet paper bag. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, let's see, dude. I'm ex-military with expert shooting qualifications in every weapon platform I was on. I'm 6'8", 300 pounds. I've trained FBI agents, and I'm trained in hand-to-hand combat. Please come put your candy ass mouth where your ass is, because obviously that's where you're talking about. It's just kind of funny. It's like all these big guys on the comments, everything, but you know damn well this guy's got his panties in a bunch. He's probably 120 pounds soaking wet, and looks like David Hogg. But yeah, hey, you got keyboard Romeos, you got keyboard Rambos. Fine, so be it. But most of you guys agreed with me on my comments today about the hell with it. The time for being nice is over. You get what you need. There were a few people going, oh, that's not the Christian thing to do, or whatever it would be. Hey, if I'm standing there and two people are, there's 3 cases of quartz and everybody's looking at one, I'll grab one and go there. If there's nobody else there, they're mine. Sorry, end of story. Okay. And that's the way it needs to be. It's not like SHTF, the SHTF we're going through right now with the economy and crime and everything like that. It's not like this, you woke up this morning and go, oh my God, gas prices are up. Food prices are up. It's not like this just slapped you in the face one day. It's been going on for 2.5 years at this point. So, I'm sorry, I have no pity. And for those people that think, oh, you shouldn't, the comment I made about the salsa and, wanting to sell the pint of salsa or anything like that. And I said, no, you should give it away, to sample. I'll give you this. How did drug dealers get their clientele? They give you the first pills, joint, line of Coke, whatever it is, for free. And once you like it, then you come back and be a paying customer. Same thing, guys. If you've got something, hey, somebody else wants it, hey, give them some. If they like it, then maybe they're willing to pay for it. If they don't, you just didn't burn a bridge by charging something for somebody doesn't like. I'm just saying, I'm going to help those that are part of my circle. If you aren't part of my circle, don't expect help from me. At that point, it's going to cost you. Okay? But if you're friends or something like that, yeah, I'll help you out, whatever I got. I mean, it's just the way I am. Agree with me, disagree with me. I don't care. That's it. You know, Mrs. P and I were talking about something the other day about dating and, kind of talking about her experiences dating in Russia and my experiences dating in the US. And I said, one of the big problems I had dating in the US, my entire life was whoever I did, they'd always want to change me. Oh, I want to change your hairstyle. Oh, I want to change your diet. Oh, you need to do. No, sorry, you're not going to change me. You may give me ideas that I might want to do something different, but you're not going to tell me to do. As soon as you tell me you want to change me, I tell you goodbye. I mean, that's it. All right. And we all are individuals. We all are our own distinct personalities. If we were all the same, life would be pretty boring. Okay. And you find somebody that's compatible with who you are. If you've got to change because to impress somebody else or to be in the in crowd with somebody else, then you're just lying to yourself. They should, as the old saying goes, accept you for who you are. If they don't, kick them to the curb and move on. Just the way I'm going to look at it. I mean, I'll tell you what I think on all these videos. And I've said to you guys many times, take what you want, leave the rest. I guarantee everybody who's in here tonight, there's something I've said over the last 2 years that you've disagreed with. That's fine. I guarantee if you said something to me for 2 years, there's something I'm going to find I disagree with. That's fine. That's what makes us individuals. That's what goes back to the first video I talked about today, where people are finally starting to stand up and go, I like being an individual. I like being a Japanese citizen or an Argentinian or whatever, I like my culture. I like my identity, whatever it would be. I'm not going to become this earthling. And the same thing. I'm going to keep my individuality, and whether people like it or not, fine. Again, as we've said many times, that's what the little X is for up top. You don't like it? Leave. Don't care. Just funny. So, but yeah, just stick to doing what's right for you. Okay. The time to worry about Steve Poplar made a comment in the video, and he was very right, where he's, Poplar Preparedness, if you guys haven't checked out Steve's channel. But, there was a comment that he made in there that was very good. And, it was what loving others is, and that no named unknown person, that's not loving them. That's just wrong. Okay. And I mean, he got into the biblical aspect of it. Loving somebody is somebody that you know. Loving the generic person out there, that's not love. Okay. People say consideration or whatever it is. Yeah, I was being very considerate. I was considering the fact that I had food for Mrs. P to eat. I was considering that I had food put away for my dogs to eat, potentially some of my neighbors who may not have something, because I've told you guys before, we're all good about swapping things over. I mean, one of my neighbors came down here the other day. She had baked banana bread and just brought us a loaf of banana bread. Another one of my neighbors, they were exhausted from doing all their canning and working and everything like that. So Mrs. P and I took dinner up to them last night. That's just what friends do, what people do for each other. It's good, but I'm not going to go make dinner for some pure stranger out there going, anybody hungry here, stop on the side of the road and I'll give you dinner. No, that's not happening. Yes, so there you go. So that was the evening for me after sleeping the day away, but I was tired and I needed it. So, all right, so let's get into what you guys are talking about here. And like I said all the time, this is, the live streams are about you guys. It's what you guys want to talk about, not what is on my mind. And yes, Lorna, I forgot. I already had it here. So there you go. It's saved. Okay. So now you're on subscribers only and slow mode. My apologies. Okay. So again, this is bathroom break, beer break for Old Hat. And we will give the quick rules to everybody. But okay, Brandy, I want to say thank you. Why does Amazon have everything you can't find in the store? Give me a second. Let me get through everything, and then I'll get into that question real quick. Again, guys, any questions you guys have, whatever it is, as long as it's not banned by YouTube for topics, please put it in all caps. That way I can see it. There's 1,300 of you guys in here. There's one of me. So I try to read everything. I don't skip over topics, that are sensitive. Maybe I disagree with you. Maybe I agree with you. Don't know. The only ones I will skip over are the ones that YouTube will give us a strike for talking about. Okay. That being said, please keep it polite. Please keep it PG friendly or PG-13 family friendly. The moderators, Robert, Jacob, North Shore, Lucky, Dame, and Lorna, do a very good job of keeping the chat clean. They are also pretty good about helping me keep the comments under the videos clean. But, like I said, there were 900 comments on one video today. This isn't a full-time job for them. This isn't a full-time job for me. You're going to find shitty people in there. At least in the live streams, we try to get rid of them. So, all right, let's get into this here. So Brandy says, why does Amazon have everything you can't find in the store? Probably because you have a lot of Amazon affiliates. You think about when you buy stuff on Amazon, some of the stuff is Prime, the Prime availability, which means Amazon has it in a warehouse somewhere. Some of the stuff is not. That means the store, Joe's Seed Company, is using Amazon as a marketing tool. And so they're sending it directly there. So there's just a lot more. It's a conglomerate, an aggregate of more stores. And, you don't see what they don't have. You go into Walmart and that's what Walmart has. You go onto Amazon and that's what 100 different stores plus Amazon has. So it's just that there's more distribution for them. It's a wider net of places to be. But thank you for the super chat. And there was one other one here. Mike Reese, thanks for all you do. We need to wake up. We all need to wake up and see what's coming. If it does not happen well, you eat well for a good long time. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Absolutely. There's many ways I look at with all the canning and things that we do. Okay, we canned up, I'll just use one of the examples. What was it, 14 quarts of chili or whatever, which somebody said today, oh, I'd love the chili recipe. And I swore I had made a video of my chili, and I guess I didn't. So when I make another batch, I will make a video so you know what my chili looks like, because everybody's is different. But, if you want to try it, try it. It's really good, but I like it. It's not overly hot, but you can make it as hot as you want. But it's very simple. That's the thing. And most of it you can make with stuff that is in your garden, which is the other thing I like. But the thing we talk about, okay, it took us all day to make chili. But anytime you think about when you make chili, you're in the kitchen cutting up vegetables and doing whatever, and you spend an hour, hour and a half in there making it and then cook it. Now it's like, oh, if we want chili for dinner, it's like, oh, okay, grab one off the shelf, pour it in a bowl and throw it in the microwave, or pour it in a pot and throw it on the stove, and poof, you've got chili. You've got a ready-made meal. It's no different than when I was making the stuffed peppers, and some of you guys are saying you freeze them or whatever. Same thing, okay? Whether it's canned, whether it's frozen, it's a quick meal that you don't have to go through all the stuff working. And my theory has always been, I did this when I was single too. Sunday used to be football and cooking day for me. I'd turn the football games on back when I'd watch football, and I'd cook my meals for the week. That way, when I came home from work, I just threw a plate in the microwave and I had a good dinner. I wasn't eating crap, I'd have, a chicken breast and noodles or vegetables, everything like that. It was just one of those plastic things, and it was done. It was just had to warm it up. Same thing here. It turns out to be a time saver. I do all the cooking at one time. It's saved in case of SHTF, but I've got to rotate it, so we also eat it. and it just works. So, it's like Mrs. P making borscht when she makes it. I mean, she's in the kitchen for a couple hours cutting vegetables. All right, so now instead of 2 hours cutting vegetables, we spend 4 hours cutting vegetables. But we make 14 quarts of the stuff, and now we got 7 meals. And in the long run, it saves time. So, but yes, everybody needs to wake up and see what's coming. Fortunately for us, we have, and granted, there's new people that are coming to the channel all the time. And that's why I say, on here, some people are like, oh, that's old hat. We all know this. You're preaching to the choir. And then you see one of these days where we've had 250 new people come to the channel. Every day the subscriber count goes up a little bit. And I don't know if these are people that have been prepping for 20 years or people that have been prepping for 20 minutes. I don't go back to the basics and say, okay, the first thing you need to do is go out and buy beans and rice. But some of this stuff is geared for all levels of prepping, because if you're new, you need to know it all. If you're old, a refresher doesn't hurt. So, because even when I did the one on organization the other day, somebody came up and said, oh my God, I did that. I realized I didn't have any of this and I didn't know. Okay. So sometimes it's beneficial, even if you think you got it all under control, maybe you don't. Because it's beneficial for me too, because it makes me think, go do things that maybe I wouldn't necessarily do. All right, now I'll get into the questions here. Patty Hansen says, it's okay, you've been sick and your body needs to recover still. It takes a while to be up to snuff. You deserve it. It's just, I've just been working a lot. That's it. And you get out in the sun and the heat and everything like that, and you're tired, kitchen. So I just needed some rest. That was it. But let's see. A bunch of hellos. Justin Mitchell, can I use 10-10-10 on my garden when I have it going? Sure. Just depending on what plant you're talking about. Okay. I mean, remember what 10-10-10 is. It's 10% nitrogen, 10% phosphorus, 10% potassium. What plants are you growing? If it's corn, okay, corn needs nitrogen, it doesn't need the potassium and the phosphorus. If you've already got the greenery all done, let's say it's your potatoes or your beets or something like that, a root crop, your carrots, it doesn't need the nitrogen, it needs the phosphorus and the potassium. 10-10-10 is great when you start. Yes, you can use it, but it may not have all the effects that you want. Sure, it's still, like for the potatoes, it's still going to get you the phosphorus and the potassium that you need, but it's going to throw more nitrogen in, which is going to convince the plant to make more green growth, which is going to take some of the energy away from making spuds. So, it's just a matter of knowing what the plants need and when and what you do. I mean, a lot of people will say you use 10-10-10 all the time. Sure, you can. I'm not saying you can't. Okay. It's just, it may not give you the exact results you're looking for. And if the plant's not going to use it, then that part of the fertilizer is going to waste too. Recon Sarge. This heat wave in Oklahoma has killed my tomatoes and peppers, also my grass, but I'm not mad about the grass. Yeah, that's it. You don't have to mow the grass. The downside is for all of it, it's not, because one leads to the other. If the grass was still there, you'd be mowing the grass. You could use the grass as mulch, which the grass would retain water, which would keep your peppers and your tomatoes alive. So again, you've got to think about the symbiotic relationship between a lot of different things and what resources you have and you can use. We all talk about composting and stuff like that, and that's great for building soil. Grass clippings are probably one of the best mulches you can use for your garden because they break down quickly, so they'll be basically soil by the time you need them next year. But this year, they're holding the moisture and keeping the soil from drying out and baking and getting hard. So, yeah, I'm sorry you lost your tomatoes and peppers, but learning experience for what to do next year. So if it happens next year, you don't have the same problem. Brandy, thank you for the super chat. Friends work at a butcher shop. Prices go up weekly in addition to increased order amount for fuel cost. It isn't fall yet. Yeah, and kind of like what I talked about in the train video yesterday. As feed costs go up, the cost of beef, pork, chicken, whatever is going to go up. And, again, it's a matter of talking to people. Talk to the people at the butcher shop, as she did. Talk to the farmers, the people at the co-op or something like that. I mean, the Walmart clerk's not going to have a clue. All right. But talk to the people who are actively involved in the raising of your food, the farmer, the rancher, the person at the feed store, whatever would be, the butcher, the baker, candlestick maker, uh, and ask them what they're seeing. And that'll tell you what you need to get ahead of the game on. If they're saying, oh yeah, what beef prices are going up because of food costs and stuff like that. Okay, that tells you, all right, buy much more beef while you can. If it's going to go up, why not get it now while it's cheap? The downside, of course, and a lot of you guys probably have the same issue I do with this one, freezer space is at a premium. You can't go out, I guess you could, have a dozen freezers in your house, okay? But somebody asked me why I was canning the stuffed green peppers, that they just freeze them instead. No question, that's a good way of doing it. I don't have the freezer space, and I've got 2 chest freezers and they're relatively full, and I've got to have enough room in them because I get a half a cow here in September and I need to be able to put that in, because last year we were kind of short on room. So I need to make sure at least one of those freezers is completely empty so I can fit the beef in there so I've got next year's food. But yeah. Okay. ES says get wrecked. I don't know what that means. John Fort Wengler, Delilah says give Pinball a paw up. I always love that. I think I told you before, Daphne's name was either going to be Daphne or Delilah, one of the two, and Mrs. P liked Daphne better. Yes, I am serious, 6'8". Joanne Riley, am I going to sleep tonight? Not probably till late, I said before we started to Mrs. P. I said, I'm going to have to come up with something to do here because I'm probably going to be awake for a while. So, I don't know, maybe I'll start canning something at 10 o'clock. Moonlight Gardner, thank you for the super chat. Glad you took a break today. You and Mrs. P have been very ill. She's still trying to get over this cough. I mean, I'm 99%. It's not bothering me or anything like this. So, I mean, I'm still fine. But I was just tired. I just needed some sleep. Rooster says, haha, he was a keyboard warrior. Yeah, that's it. Fun stuff. Custom Carl, Pinball, you're on top of your game. Keep up the great work on this channel. Thank you. I try. I mean, I try to share things to make you think, okay? I mean, I'm not writing a prepper Bible or something like that. It's just, I want, as long as people are thinking, that's important. It's when people just blindly go wherever. It's like, well, I heard it on CNN, so it must be true. No, that doesn't work. If people are thinking, I'm happy. And again, we all think about different things. Somebody sent me an email the other day. I thought this was brilliant because it's actually an issue I have. Satellite dish. Okay, your TV. We canceled our TV a year ago, but I've still got this stupid satellite dish in the backyard that I haven't pulled down. And he had a great idea. He says, you know what that's really good for? He goes, take off the satellite dish and put a solar panel on it. He goes, because you can rotate it, whatever you need. It faces the right direction. And I'm like, there's something I never thought of. And they're, really good idea. But that's why this community, this family is so important, because we all make each other think, have ideas. And you get that one idea that spreads to 80,000 other people. And if a couple of them put it into play, now that's how we help each other. Hector Prepper, there you go. I'm a master at Kung Glock. There you go. Kim, what is the way to end the war in Ukraine? The easiest way, get NATO out of it, because Russia and Ukraine will probably come to the table, but as long as the US and Germany and everybody is still supplying weapons, Ukraine's going to continue to fight. Russia's seeing the problems in the country with it. They don't want to lose any more people. If if the West backed out and stopped their warmongering, it'd probably end. My opinion. Rice-A-Roni, Patera has a keyboard warrior named Sandy. She totally cracked me up tonight. We all do. I mean, you get rid of them and, they just create a new profile and everything like that. So I just figured with the ones today, I'd light them up on the chat room and leave it there to embarrass them. So that was it. So if you guys want to read it, go read it. But I just, me, I'm not going to pull any punches. I'll just call them out. Francis Gentunen, do I have a brother? Yes, I do. He's 3 years younger than me, married with 4 kids. John Fort Wengler says, Delilah likes my hat. See, a little fedora on a kitty cat. There you go. Prep Rebel, the time for being a nice guy is over. Yes. Okay. Being nice at this, for the most part, I am a pretty nice guy. Piss me off, I'm your worst enemy. Okay. But for the most part, I'm a pretty nice guy. But the going out of my way to be nice for somebody that I mean, I'll still open a door for a lady or do whatever, say, please, thank you, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. That is just the way I am. But gee, I'll just leave this so some unknown person can have it. That ain't flying anymore. I got too many other people that count on me. Montana Grizz fan, you are right. If I am not for me, who will be? And if not now, when? I'm done warning people because they will remember I told them to get ready and come after me for things. That's the thing, guys. We've done our part. At this point, we've told everybody till we're blue in the face what's going to happen. If the general public can still look at general society and go, oh, everything's fine. I mean, the 23% of the people who think the economy's headed in the right direction. That kind of drugs are you on? But we can't tell them anymore. I mean, we've done our part. Okay, now it's time to circle the wagon, say screw it, and look out for number one, because those who believe the government's going to come in and save you are the problem. Okay, the government is the problem, and those people are the problem. The government caused all these problems. Solving a problem that you created doesn't deserve you a pat on the back. It deserves you gee, glad you straightened up your own screw up. Okay, the problem is their screw ups affect the rest of us. Some of us are smarter than they are, to realize your bad decisions aren't going to change my life. Okay, so we stay out in front of the game. That's what a prepper is. Somebody who has the foresight to not be affected by somebody else's stupid decision. Rooster Pinball's a big dude. I challenge him to a nap. There you go. Okay. And at that point, it's Yuengling Golden Pilsner 30. There we go. Got a little moisture on the throat. Patriot Preacher 43. Ohio people beware. USCCA, which is U.S. Concealed Carry, is running YouTube ads to get their free constitutional carry booklet. It has errors. Look to the Ohio Attorney General pamphlet for the right info. Okay. Good to know that. Rogue Yard Gnome. I keep go-away stock of various things to hand out. Yeah, me too. It comes in 223, 556, and 9mm. And I hand them out one at a time. PS 1990, happy Saturday, Pinball. Any recommendations for suburban home gardening? We may be stuck in SoCal if the house doesn't sell. All right, I'll give you this one. Go watch a channel called The Gardening Channel with James Prigioni, Prigioni. This guy lives in the suburbs in Jersey, of all places. Okay. And he turned his backyard into a food forest. I mean, and grows boatloads of food on his postage stamp suburban lot. I mean, he put up a video either today or yesterday. I watched it this evening, showing his yard 10 years ago when it was just grass to what it looks like today and the amount of food that he's harvesting and everything like that. And again, please, you go 10 years or whatever. I've said this many times. Please remember, gardening is not, gee, I'll put a plant in the ground and watch it grow and I collect food from it in 90 days. Gardening is a process and it takes a lot of time and a lot of work. You've got to build that soil. Me, I mean, you saw me for a year and a half building the soil. My first year garden, the yield sucked. Last year it was a little better. This year it's pretty good. Next year it'll be better. I mean, I still had, you guys know, my carrots was a complete failure. That had something to do with the drought, but I'm still building soil and doing things, and I found a different way to do carrots. So I'm going to try that out this fall, see what happens. You guys come along for that ride too. But yeah, that would be where I'd suggest if you want to see somebody take it from a suburban backyard from useless lawn to productive food. Jasper's mom, yeah, okay, boy, I must be really behind when she says, how about slow mode and subscriber only? I did that at the top of the video. So, yeah, okay, there we go. Okay. Lady Jocelyn, please, pumpkins not producing fruit. We have self-pollinated, no results. Okay, I'm not trying to insult you here. Did you pollinate the female flowers? I mean, if you all know the difference between male flowers and female flowers will have a little fruit right behind the flower, look like a little stub. The male flowers will just be stem to flower. Plants will produce the male flowers first, usually a few weeks ahead of time, and then the female flowers come in. Again, without seeing exactly what you got, you got to have female flowers. You just can't pollinate a male flower. It's not going to turn into a female. We don't have hermaphrodite fruit. But that would be my only question at this point. And like I said, I'm not trying to be insulting, and maybe you did, but with the very, very little information I have, that would be my guess. And we're going to shoot to the bottom, so let's go back up. Okay, Fred Paul, could you post Mrs. P's squash pasta sauce that she made a couple of weeks ago? You said it was really good. Yeah, that Uzbeki deal. When we get a few more squash come in, we'll do it again and show you guys how to do that one. Ironically here, it's funny, we're all talking about different things that aren't growing. A lot of you guys have said okra has been crap this year. I don't grow okra, but I've heard from other people that the okra harvest has been junk this year. I've got one zucchini this year. Even Mountaintop Preps, who usually has zucchini coming out of there everywhere, said the zucchini have shut off. So I don't know what's going on with the zucchini, but when we get some more squash, if we get some more squash, now that we've tried it and we liked it, I'll share it with you guys, because it's a good garden meal. Again, a lot of the stuff I try to do is stuff that you can do as a prepper, that you don't need all these fancy ingredients. We're not making gourmet meals. It's like, oh, here's how to take your filet mignon and no, this is how to take food that you can grow in your backyard and turn it into something with, your preps. Hey, here's a bunch of vegetables that you can grow in your backyard, put it over some spaghetti noodles, which you should have, and poof, you've got a tasty, filling, healthy dinner. Deanna Emmons just wanted to say thank you. My tomatoes are huge and flourishing. I picked 8 cherry tomatoes today. I could probably go out and pick about 300 right now. We were supposed to pick tomatoes today, and I slept right through it. Yeah, I've got more freaking cherry tomatoes outside than I know what to do with. I'll be sharing those around. Scott Nesbitt, how long does it take for an apple tree to get apples? It's been 7 years with no apple. I got a question. Do you have more than one apple tree? Apples are not self-pollinating. Apples need something else to pollinate them, and it needs to be, you need to have 2 apple trees. I've got a Granny Smith and a Red Delicious, just because those are about the only 2 apples I like. But you need to have 2 different types of apple trees for them to pollinate. Otherwise, you'll never get apples. But by 7 years, you should be having apples. Beverly, hope the power stays on for the freezers. That's what the solar generators are for. I've got 4 of the 1300s and 2 of the Pros. So yes, I've got that covered. Prep Rebel, a 6-pack of boneless, skinless chicken breasts today was $28. The roast I bought at the same time for the same weight of meat was $20. Yeah. $28 for a 6-pack of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. That's insane. I mean, what was it? A year ago, we were paying $7-8 for something. Well, about $1.69 somewhere. So 6 of them, $10. Now it's $28. Yeah, inflation. But Joe comes up and says, oh, the inflation numbers are outdated. It's not taking into effect. The gas prices have gone down. Yippee. The gas prices have gone down 30 cents. Okay. That's good. It's not even 10%, Joe. Okay. Everything else is still high. Yeah. Food. When I'm seeing videos, news station interviews of, local news going out and interviewing people, and people saying, yeah, I have a full-time job and I've got to go on food stamps. Okay. I mean, these are people who've never been on food stamps before. So this isn't the, gee, I have a full-time job and I'm making minimum wage. This is the people who have a full-time job and are making 40 grand and need to go on food stamps. That's Joe's economy. That's his legacy. That's what the Democrats have done to this country. Yes. Harbor Prepper, thank you for the super chat. It says, I'm confused. My better bush tomatoes are doing great, but my Romas are all getting blossom end rot. Same soil, same sun, same water, same fertilizer, but totally different results. Or am I doing something wrong, or am I cursed? Well, you're not cursed and you're not doing something wrong. But, as much as you say same soil and everything like that, you got to remember, you're talking about 2 different kinds of tomatoes, and their nutritional needs are going to be slightly different. All blossom end rot is a lack of calcium. Okay, very simple. I had it on, I've got a row of Siberian early tomatoes, right? Okay, 10 plants. 1 plant had blossom end rot. They're all right next to each other. They're 18 inches apart, 24 inches apart. So I don't remember exactly. 24 inches apart. 1 plant had blossom end rot. I got out there with a little calcium nitrate, put it on it, no more problems. The tomatoes that had it were toast, but the new tomatoes, all fine. Just get a little calcium, put it on there, you'll be fine. Okay. And if you don't want to order calcium nitrate, get some eggshells, crack up some eggshells, crush it into a powder, add a couple of drops of vinegar to release the calcium from the eggshells, put it in there. You could also take, if you want to water it with some whole milk, that would work as well. That'll get the calcium down there because it's liquid. So, Linda Bopp. I went to Walmart today to buy my dogs a 30-pound bag of food. The price went from $32 to $42. I was put into shock. It will do my 2 medium-sized dogs about a month, maybe a little longer. Crazy. I did a video, what was it now, about 3 months ago, on how to make dog food out of the garden. Okay, just an idea. If you've got some stuff growing, give them half the kibble, and give them some sweet potatoes or some blueberries or something like that, or squash, which are A, the dogs love, and B, they're very good for them. So, but you can go back and look at that. Fight for freedom. Can I plant fruit trees in sandy soil, zone 4? Okay, yeah, sure. But it depends on the kind of fruit trees that you're going to get. Up north, you're going to get apple trees are going to grow wonderfully. Cherry trees, your Bing cherries, your Rainier cherries, those are going to grow great where they don't grow down here. Don't try growing lemons or oranges. That's not going to happen. But your more colder weather fruit trees, I mean, think about, like I said, apples, cherries, Washington apples. Washington's up north. Michigan cherries. Okay. Yeah, you can certainly do it. As the fact that you have sandy soil, all you're going to do then, dig your hole twice the size of the root bowl, mix in a bunch of compost into that, and let it start in that, and get that plant, you get a good firm root before it starts going more into the native soil. But fill that hole, take the sandy soil out, and plant it in compost. Alexandra Costa, Pinball, try putting a slice of onion under your feet. Draws the cough out. It's wonderful. Did you hear that, honey?
Yeah.
Okay. She heard. And she says thank you. Country Boy 1968, you and Mrs. P should publish a recipe book. I like that. I'd rather do it with the videos, okay, because then you can see how it's done. Reading a recipe book is not the same as seeing it done. But the other thing is, when you start doing something like that, then it gets into cost. And, okay, now you got to get somebody to publish it or do whatever. And I'm not interested in doing that. Again, it's the same thing. I'm not selling you merch and saying, go to the channel and buy this. No. That's why I've got the specific playlist on there. It's just Cooking with Mrs. P. And the recipes that we've got are in there. They're all organized into that. And as we come up with new ones, we put them in there. And that way it doesn't cost anybody anything. And you can see the process of what's going on, not just read about it. South Colorado Stetter, we the people, how do you see the new Federal Reserve guy, Barr? Do you think he'll be any better? Time will tell. I mean, actions speak louder than words. I mean, look at every politician. They tell you they're going to do all this sort of stuff, and then they never do. I want to see actions. I could care less about what somebody says. Gabby Gertie, the dish part would make a great bird bath. Yeah, I mean, there you go. There's a way of repurposing it. Can you use the satellite dish for making a solar oven? I suppose if you probably covered it with aluminum foil, that would probably be another good way of doing it. Deb78 says, just passed my ham technician exam today, learning emergency communication. Congratulations. Here we go. John says, satellite dish, a giant wok. I don't think I want to cook out of it. There you go. Maggie Palacios, what's the best way to seed save? Can it be done with any fruit or vegetable? Yes, it can, but a lot of them are going to be very different in how you do it, okay? Obviously, you've got to dry the seed. Simple as that. But you think of your peas or your green beans or something like that. You need to let them go as long as you can on the plant to dry out. And then, like, I've got a bunch of beans and they got white. My green beans, let turn white. But they weren't totally dry when I needed to rip the plant out. So I just put them on a sheet of wax paper and let them sit in a sunny window, and they'll dry out. And then I just crack them all open, save the seeds. Peas, the same way. Now, if you're talking about cucumbers or tomatoes or something like that, first off, you've got to let the plant go to full maturity, which means those tomatoes have to be bright red on the vine, okay, almost to the point of rotting. Then they're full maturity. Cucumbers, you need to let them get totally yellow, okay? That's what the mature fruit actually looks like. Then you can harvest the seeds, take the seeds out, then you've got to ferment them, soak them in water for a couple of days, get all that goop off of them, rinse them off, soak them in water again, get all the goop off, and then dry them out. So there isn't a best way to save seeds, but because all the seeds are different, but yeah, anything can be saved. I mean, where do you think the new plants come from? I mean, strawberries, a little difficult. The seeds on a strawberry are actually on the outside of the plant. Yes, you could try to save those seeds. It's easier to cut some runners off an existing plant and plant those. Potatoes, potatoes, you don't want them to dry out to replant for your seed potatoes. So a lot of different ways to do things, but yes, everything's coming from seed in one way or another, and yes, they can be saved. Rooster, when a potato talks, trouble starts, and nobody understands what he said. That's the problem. But hey, the Holocaust was an honor, right? Jordy Sid, question: how do you put a solar panel on a satellite dish? I think he's talking about taking the satellite dish off the post and leaving the whole post with the hinge there, and then hooking it to that. Obviously you got to get creative. Johnny Marbles, hey Pinball, why don't you keep animals like chickens and bees? As for bees, I never have, and I'm really not interested in being a beekeeper. As for chickens, I'm not allowed to here because of my proximity to the lake. So they don't want the runoff from chicken pens or any livestock or anything like that going into the lake, because the lake is used for drinking water for 3 states, I believe. The 79th Zombie. Hello, I'm having trouble getting my onions to bulb. Will blood meal help with this? No, absolutely not. Blood meal is nitrogen. Once that's going to get the green growth. Once they've stopped the green growth and they've started a bulb, that's when you need bone meal, not blood meal, because you need the phosphorus and the potassium. So, yeah, hit them with bone meal, not blood meal. Christopher Meyer says, who did you pick the name Pinball? There wasn't a giveaway tonight, so that wasn't, I don't understand what you're talking about there. Francine Ryder, you're awesome for all the info you give us each day. I want to thank you. You're more than welcome. I try to do what I can to help. That's the best I can do. Daniel Sampson, driving a Sandpoint well, lots of wet clay in the bottom. Does this mean it won't work? I cannot answer that one. I don't know enough about digging a well. Mine was done by a well company, so yeah. Let's see. Auslander info, Jack, never push a man who cares to the point where he doesn't care. Too late, I'm there. John says again, Delilah has a hat from Prepper Nurse One's daughter, Heather, that she crocheted for him. That's cute. KR Fior, I'm going to butcher this name, Fioravante. I wish I knew other people in Michigan. Who knows what's going on? People here seem asleep. That's the problem. There's a lot of people in the community, obviously, but because we all kind of practice gray man, it's not like anybody has a hat on that says I'm a prepper. So it's hard to get to know people. So you really have to kind of figure it out, and like I said, hanging around the gun shop, or watching people's carts in the grocery stores or something like that. It may seem like you're a little weird, but just striking up a conversation with somebody, it's like, yeah, I see you got a couple of cases of black beans. Yeah, I just picked up a couple of cases of green beans myself too, putting stuff away. See if the conversation starts. A guy may say, oh no, you know what, I'm making chili for a t-ball team. We could go, yeah, things are getting pretty crappy out there, aren't they? And now you got a conversation started. RP Smith, don't know why, but you remind me of Dan Haggerty. I want you on my side. Is in Dan Haggerty the guy who played Grizzly Adams? It must be the beard. Alice Cooper agrees with you. There you go. Storms, Radios, and Cats. There's a good name. Never poke a tiger if it's sleeping unless you want trouble. Then you deserve to be mauled for all those keyboard. Yeah, exactly. uh, Jay Myers, pinball should be a wrestler. Not big enough. I mean, you look at, even you go back. I mean, not that was ever a wrestling fan, but it was like Hulk Hogan was what, like 7'2", 380 pounds or something like this. I mean, Andre the Giant was almost a foot taller than me. Yeah. Sweetie Petite, how long are store-bought frozen burgers good for in the freezer? I figure there's a ton of chemicals and preservatives in them. So is it for, I don't know. I've got some in the freezer have been in there over a year. I mean, we cook them up every once in a while. They're fine. So you're probably right. It's probably all the preservatives. But, freezing meat do really good. I mean, I think I told you guys this a couple of years ago. What was it, 2019 or 2020? I can't remember. We bought a turkey for Thanksgiving and then got another one. So we had one in the freezer. So we ate it the next year for Thanksgiving. Been in the freezer for a year. It was fine. No big deal. John Gabriel, do I think the internet will be cut out? If we have a worldwide crisis, yes. I don't want to necessarily say war, but if we have some sort of economic collapse or everything like that. I mean, remember, the internet is run by a company or multiple companies. The companies go out of business, there goes your internet. If your internet provider no longer exists, it's not like they can flip a switch and go, oh, you were on Comcast? Great, now you're on Cox. Cox doesn't have an infrastructure in the same city. So, yeah, it could go anytime. Morning Girl, self-checkouts at my Dollar General are not scanning the right price more often. The self-checkouts at Dollar General drive me nuts. They are so freaking slow and not right half the time, and there's no cashier standing up there, and you're going, I need to find an employee because this is wrong, and I mean, I had one time where I was in Dollar General where I'm just like, I can't find any, I just left it there. I'm like, half of it's rung up, sorry, no. If your system doesn't work right and there's no people there, don't expect to get my money. Country Humans Grease Fan, how to get deer out of garden, eating celery, potatoes, putting paw prints in containers. You need to get a couple of things would help. Marigolds, I've said many times, planting marigolds, or if you had onions or garlic or something like that around there, something that's got an odor that deer don't like, that's the first thing. Another thing you might suggest is one of these motion detector sprinklers, where if the deer comes in, it'll zap them with, it's kind of like an oscillating sprinkler. It'll zap them with water. That'll chase them out. Either that or sit out there on guard duty with a 22. So I don't think you want to be doing that. Tonight, I could probably be awake all night and do it. Huts John, who are those running to take Governor Lee's job? I really haven't even paid attention to it yet. I mean, again, I got to get into what's going on, but I mean, a lot of it's hard. It's like, I see the signs all over the place. Vote for this guy for county commissioner, this guy for sheriff, this guy for judge. And I'm like, there's nowhere I can find any information in it. It's just a bunch of names, who knows? So, that's the problem, and I mean, I'll put the effort in to go look, but 99% of the people won't, and I'm pretty happy with the way Bill Lee's running Tennessee anyway, so chances are he's going to get my vote anyway. In Yeshua's name we pray. I love James Prigioni. He's awesome. Yeah, it's a good channel. He's funny. The guy's got to drink less coffee, but okay. Mama G's Prep and Garden. My potato plants are being eaten by something, but I don't know what. Hopefully it's not potato bugs. I mean, is it being eaten by a large animal or is it being eaten by bugs? The thing is, don't overly concern yourself with the greens on potatoes getting chewed up or bug infested or what, because you're not eating those, okay? And it's not affecting the growth of the spuds underneath. So P Fletch 83, I wonder how many are set to watch the IRL in real life zombie apocalypse this fall and winter. I wonder how many are set to be part of it. You know, this is it. I'm ready to watch it. Like I said, I'm perfectly happy sitting on the porch with a rifle in my lap, you know, having a beer and just watching people go crazy. That's fine. Just don't step on my property. Whoops. Somebody said, our watermelons start great and then get black bottoms. That would be blossom end rot. Same thing. That's lack of calcium in your soil again. And we shot to the bottom, so that's why I'm trying to figure out where I am. Okay. Tina Moore, I'm successfully growing Bing cherries here in Tennessee. I mean, growing the tree, yes. Are you getting the cherries? That's the thing. If you are, please let me know, because I'd love to grow Bing cherries too. I found the Sweetheart cherries and I had one of those. Got one cherry, brand new tree, but it was good. Kimberly House says you can toss a bar of soap in between the sheets at the bottom of your feet for leg cramps. Okay, never heard that. J Mav, what handheld comms do you use? Motorola, Baofeng. I did a whole video on comms, oh God, a while back. Everything I've got between two-ways and CBs and handhelds and God knows what. I think there was something in the title about special forces, I believe, something like that. So. I see Lucky Dame dropped Prepper Now's link in the chat. I didn't know if he showed up in the chat. I talked to Prepper Now on the phone the other day because I wanted to see what's going on, because it's been forever since he'd done video on that channel, and it was, you know, he's trying to come out from strikes and everything. So, but he says, yeah, he goes, he lurks in here, everything. So I didn't know if he made his presence known. Let's see. Jay Myers, pinball at 6'8" in a beekeeper suit would look like a winter Sasquatch. That's about it. Bees Nuts, do I recommend a red dot sight on your EDC? That's up to you. Okay. I mean, again, you're putting more equipment on a pistol, you know, I'm assuming that's your EDC, which changes the weight of it, changes the holstering of it, whatever it would be, you know, and whether or not it is going to be useful. I don't have one, and here's the personal reason. I'm not going to be sneaking around using it. It's a self-defense weapon, okay? I mean, even if I'm in a grocery store, if I'm in Walmart, if I'm in a school, you know, and something happens, all right, I'm not going to be trying to red dot somebody with it. It's like I see him, I'm going to shoot, and chances are you're going to do a mag dump on him anyway. You know, personally, I'd say carry an extra magazine rather than a sight, but completely up to you. Scott Nesbitt, they're Macintosh apples. They're up north. They get nothing. It's been 7 years with no apples. Like I said, you got to have you got to have something else to pollinate them. Nana Dot, what's my opinion on raising meat rabbits? Great. Okay. You know, I mean, they're quiet, they're prolific, they're very lean. So make sure you have some fats that you can eat, you know, so that you got some peanut butter or something, because there is such thing as rabbit starvation, because you need some of the fats too. But yeah, I mean, if there was any meat that I'd want to raise on a small property like mine, okay, it'd be either chickens or rabbits. The chickens will make noise. Rabbits are stealthy, but chickens will also give you eggs. So, but I mean, if I was able to raise protein, it would be chicken and rabbits. Chuck Norris for president. There you go. Hulk Hogan was 6'5". I swear he was taller than that. I remember reading a interview with Stallone and him talking about Hulk Hogan in whichever Rocky movie it was where Hogan played Thunder Lips, and I know he was over 7 foot. Igazappa Eno Townsend, how long does frozen ground beef last in the freezer? I had some that was over a year. It was fine. Okay, K Vonix, how do I feel about the new baby food that's plant-based protein? I'm not thrilled at all with anything that's plant-based protein, and I'm way past the baby food point of my life, so I really don't pay any attention to it. One more question, because it's 10 o'clock. Frank B's, hey, Pinball, why don't you build your own garage? Because I've got to pass code. And I mean, I'm going to do a lot of the finish work on it, but building trusses and getting up on roofs and putting a metal roof on and stuff like that. That ain't me. I mean, I could frame it and do everything, but once it gets to the roof, that's not me. Okay. Just seeing the interesting time I had putting a roof on my smokehouse. I'm certainly not going to try to do it on a structure where I'm going to put, vehicles and tools and people. I want that one done right. So, all right, gang. Thank you for showing up tonight. Everybody have a great Saturday evening. I'm going to be up for a while, so we'll see. I don't know if North Shore is coming on afterwards, but we'll kind of go from there. Have a good evening. We'll see you all in the morning. Pinball out.